What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics. Remember how I said on the Sunday video how things are kind of quiet and there really hasn't been much going on lately? Oh, wow. Well, you know, what are you going to do? We have an official response from Fanatics /Tops on this whole backdoored 101 superfractor nonsense that went down over the weekend. This came out on Monday afternoon. The response, that is, once again, Baseball Card Blog on Twitter is the one who shared it. Actually had direct contact with Mike Mahan, the CEO of Fanatics Collectibles. So, a few different layers to this old onion to kind of peel back on. First off, I mean, let's be realistic here. There is a certain segment of people that it honestly would not matter what Fanatics did. They could have came out first thing this morning and sent everyone a puppy, a kitten, a rainbow, 17 boxes of Bowman Draft, and a Tom Brady refractor auto for this offense that they have pulled, and people would still be pissed. There's just a certain segment of people that no matter what, they are going to hate Tops / Fanatics, more so Fanatics as the overall controlling partner coming in here. And I get that. They came in, they've shaken up the world. Things aren't like the way that they all used to be. You either got to adapt with the times or get mad. I kind of get it, but still. There's nothing they could do to appease certain people, which is whatever. I will give them, we'll get into what they've actually said so far, which is not much, but at least they've come out and kind of addressed what's going on. I will give them credit for a very quick turnaround on this. I mean, this came out over the weekend. They said they were looking into it on Sunday, and this came out Monday afternoon at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they have already responded directly from the CEO. Listen, we can hate on them. We could bag on them for making the mistake in the first place. Newsflash, people, these companies are going to screw up and do dumb stuff. And I'm not trying to defend Fanatics here by any means. If that was the case, I would have never made the videos to begin with in the first place. But I think we all need to live in the real world here, that if people want to steal stuff, they are going to steal stuff. It happens every single day, everywhere. This is not anything new. And to be frank, there is, I mean, the part 2 of this, we'll talk about it in the back half of this video. There is a massive Panini issue here as well. We'll touch on it here a little bit. We'll circle back to it. But yeah, Tops and Fanatics screwed up letting this stuff out the door. There's a huge Panini issue here as well. I don't know what response they'll have to it. They're probably gearing up to use this as ammo in their lawsuit against Fanatics, since these are all printed at the same place. And it is the printing company that Fanatics owns a controlling interest in. So let's kind of backpedal a little bit there after that little bit of soapbox I got on. So Baseball Card Blog tweets out that he had direct access to a source that had contact with the DFW Card Shark guy, the one that was selling all the superfractors. Here's where it gets a little scary. This person tried to sell off 191 Panini 101 Holo Heroes at once in bulk to a dealer / breaker. 191 1-of-1s. I believe that is out of Luminance, maybe. I'm not super familiar with that one. It's one of the more I don't want to say off-brand sets, but one of the non-major releases. So it's probably why it wouldn't have caught a lot of flack. And, you know, I tweeted this out last night, and we kind of talked about it in the initial video that I did. If you look back at the completed listings from this seller, who, by the way, has ghosted their eBay account, not surprising, there is a ton of crazy Panini stuff on there. There was all those select greens. There was a bunch of select 1-of-1 blacks. There was a bunch of patch auto cards. You can see here's a little snippet of a bunch of jumbo patches. Like all this crazy stuff that it would be super random for one person to have it all. So clearly, either this person worked at the print shop directly, or they had backdoor access and were doing, like, someone was sneaking it out and they were using this account defense for it. Now, I have to imagine Topps and Fanatics is gonna get eBay involved on this one. We'll kind of talk about that in a second. But I mean, this guy's screwed. Like, this is like legit federal crime here. Like, this is FBI level stuff that this person did, most likely. We're not talking about, oh, someone scammed someone or megabit on something. Like, this is a whole different level of shenanigans. So, this tweet comes out. Shortly thereafter, we get a direct response from Fanatics once again via Baseball Card Blog over on Twitter/X. Mike Mayhem, the CEO of Fanatics Collectibles, reached out and laid things out here. After looking at everything and kind of just going through stuff, it did appear that they were stolen. Fanatics has confirmed these cards are stolen. They are not fakes. They are not customs, but they are incomplete superfractors, and it is exactly what we thought. They got rejected from quality control inspection due to issues and then smuggled out of the building. It appears there's a limited amount. That's what they're saying. You would think the way that this seller operated, if they had more, they probably would have posted more of them because they did not seem like they were being real smart in regards to trying to hide all this stuff. He goes on to say that all the grading companies have been made aware. So if they see one of these come across, and once again, this is very easy to catch because the one-on-one stamp is on the back when it should be on the front. Mayhem, the CEO, also goes on to say every single collector who purchased a stolen Topps card from DFW will be reimbursed by Fanatics, and that the company will take stringent efforts to keep this from happening ever again. All right, let's just kind of break this down. Like I said, they could have come out and said, we are planting money trees in everyone's backyard that's ever opened a Topps pack in their entire life, and a certain amount of people would still be pissed off on it. And that's perfectly fine. That's your right. Let's transfer over to the real world a little bit here. Companies are going to make mistakes. How companies respond to mistakes is the key thing. Now, has their response been perfect on everything? Absolutely not. They have screwed a lot of stuff up. They've done some cool things. They have screwed some things up. They've still never addressed the missing Bowman autos, or the missing Bowman cards that got backdoored and then autographed that Dan the Cardman has done numerous videos on. There are plenty of other things out there that they have not addressed, turned a blind eye to, whatever. But on these more recent items, really since the 101 Superfractor, they seem much more aggressive in regards to responding to this stuff. And this is something, I mean, think of the issues that we've had over the years with Panini, and we just never hear a word from them. If something like this went down with Panini, and I mean it has in a way, we would probably never hear about it. I mean, we just honestly wouldn't. There's been plenty of stuff that's happened over the years that they have massively screwed up that we have never gotten a formal response on from the company. So you have to give them some credit for at least acknowledging the mistake. Now, we'll see if they fix it. What things will they put in place? What more is going to come out of this? Those are all things we don't know. And, maybe this is them just blowing smoke up everything. But it is in their best interest to lock this down. You cannot sell $1,000 or $750 boxes of Bowman Draft. You cannot sell high-priced break slots on your Fanatics Live thing if people do not have consumer confidence in the product. People want to chase these big cards. That's clear. We might not agree with it. We might not like breaking. We might not like the gambling aspects of the hobby. Whatever. It drives a ton of business for Fanatics. If that stuff gets called into question, it undermines and undercuts everything that they want to do. So it is in their absolute best financial interests, company interest, regulation interest, if you want to keep that stuff away, all of it, to get this stuff on lockdown. Now, they own a majority stake in the printer. I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that's Fanatics people in there running it, if it's still in the process of transitioning over. I have no freaking idea. But hopefully, between the Bowman duplicate superfractors from a few months ago, different, that was an issue with quality control. Oh, they got double printed and end up in the packs. This is an issue of things getting stolen. Now, from a top standpoint, this is the second known time that we have seen this. The first time is an assumption. The Bowman Chrome cards that Dan the Cardman, like I said earlier, had done some videos on where those cards were backdoored, signed, and then the athlete confirmed, hey, I never signed these, and they hit the market before the product even actually released. You have to assume those cards were probably backdoored as well. And then we have these 101 superfractors. Like I said, if you go back to that account, there is way more Panini stuff on that list than there is top stuff. So maybe, once again, we don't know. This is just me assuming. Maybe the security did get tighter after they took over, and these people still found another loophole. And maybe this is all Fanatics just blowing smoke up us all, so we just turn a blind eye to the next thing and move on about our day and go back to ripping Bowman draft boxes. I have no idea. But like I said, it is in their best interest to get this stuff on lockdown because it affects their bottom line and their whole vertical integration. You can't build their favorite keyword, vertical integration. If the foundation is falling apart, you can't build everything on top of it. And if consumer confidence is broken, then what are you going to do? And I would be curious for the people out there that I'm genuinely curious. This is not me being trolling or anything like that. What, in this case, this happened. Someone stole something. That's bad. What response would you like to see from Fanatics? I am genuinely curious. They got busted. People found out about it. They made a big stink about it. Within 24 hours, Fanatics came out with a very public response. Now, we'll see what they go to the next step, but what would you like to see happen? I'm like I said, I am genuinely curious. How would you have liked to see Fanatics handle this differently, better, whatever? And the answer can't be a time machine to go back and have better security in place. Like I said, for all we know, maybe they already had better security in place. That's why we haven't seen that much top stuff backdoored. We've seen some, but at least judging off this seller's page, there's way more Panini stuff out there. I mean, what was it? 191 Hollow Hero 101s floating around out there. If you have Hollow Hero 101s floating around out there, I guess be a little bit careful. Like I said, that's a smart one to get because how many people are really talking about those? I don't know. I have to imagine the authorities are going to get involved in this. Fanatics is not going to let this one go. They're going to take it to the mat, I would have to imagine. It would be nice if Fanatics had an outlet to kind of communicate this stuff to us directly as updates happen. As much as I would like to say slide into my DMs, it should be something more official than that. When something like this goes down, I would really like to see, someone out there, whether it's on a Fanatics Instagram page, whatever. It's 2023. Turn on a camera, turn on a microphone, and sit down and tell us directly from you guys what happened and what you're doing about it. Perfectly fine. And you went through Baseball Card Blog for this one. I get it. But it would still be nice to just pop on, cut out all the middlemen, let us all react to your nonsense, and just tell us straight up. Communication, I think, is one of the things all these companies, this is not a Topps and Fanatics thing, the grading companies, everything, really most companies just in life in general, being upfront and communicating are key to maintaining your customer base and their trust. This is what I do on a daily basis. My real life job is account management. My job is to make sure the customer is getting taken care of while I'm out in the field, dealing with any questions or concerns and communicating questions and concerns and trying to get ahead of things with the business that I am in. What I have found in 20 years of doing this, being upfront and honest and owning mistakes is one of the most important things and buys you so much credit with a customer. If you just get out there and say, we screwed this up, this is what I'm going to do to fix it. This was our mistake. Don't try to twist it. Don't try to do nonsense. And also trying to get ahead of it as much as you possibly can and quickly communicating it. I have to give Topps and Fanatics credit on this one. They at least came out quickly and addressed this. They could have just let this sit and not done anything and hope that someone did something stupid later this week and immediately went that direction and we all kind of forgot about this. Would it be nice if this never happened and they had things on lockdown in the first place? Yes, obviously. In a perfect world, it would. So we will see what happens from here. We'll see if Topps and Fanatics gives us any more updates to this as this situation develops. We'll see if Panini says anything, how they are going to handle this, address this, if they say anything at all. Like I said, Panini, in all honesty, I would be shocked if they came out and said something. It would be awesome if they did. But I have a feeling Panini is looking at this as, oh, not so much we need to get out in front of this for our customer base. They're probably looking at this like, oh, we could use this to help us in our lawsuit more than they care about the customers. I could be wrong on that. We'll see if they come out and say anything. But this is an issue for both companies. Ultimately, it's Fanatics printer to a degree. So it comes down to them ultimately. But Panini should come out and say something as well. It would be nice if we got a full list of everything that they think got backdoored. And maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know. I'm guessing on this one, when the misprint happened, probably that was noted somewhere. Probably in some sort of error log or something like that. Hey, these cards were printed incorrectly. Here's the number of them. Here's the cards in question. These are getting destroyed. We need to reprint these particular ones. So that's probably how they know exactly which ones and where that they're, and that they saw that they were supposed to be destroyed. That's my guess. I don't know their inner workings that well. That's just speculation on my part. So, as always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Other than Fanatics not getting in the business at all, what would you have them do here? What response would you have liked to see today and in the future that says, you know what, I'm going to go out and buy a hobby box? And maybe your answer is, I was never going to buy a hobby box from Fanatics to begin with, ever. Full stop. A very valid answer. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. Catch you on the next one. Peace.